This is Safe Community Call number 3. We know there's a ton going on in the world, so we really appreciate your time and joining us to hear more about what's been going on at Safe. So just for a little bit of a recap, we're hosting these community calls to update everybody on the ongoings around the Safe DAO with regards to safe governance, our products and safe apps, as well as having a moment for our guardians and ecosystem projects to share a little bit about what they're building and why we're excited to have them as part of the Safe ecosystem. So if you have any questions or comments, feedback, concerns, please let us know in the community-chat channel on Discord. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you on these ongoing calls. So without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Lukas Schor, co-founder of Safe, to give us some thoughts on everything that's kind of going on in the crypto world right now. So Lukas, take it away.
Thanks, Jorge. Yeah, so the last few days and weeks have definitely showed us that there's like huge counterparty risks inherent to using custodial services like centralized exchanges, but also other custodians. And it showed us again how important it is to really stay true to the Web3 ethos, to be your own bank, to really have ownership over your assets, your data, your identity, and not trust anyone else to safeguard them. So we really need to make sure as many users as possible make the leap towards self-custody. And at the same time, we also have to acknowledge that self-custody is still not extremely accessible to everyone. There's still a lot that needs to be improved for the long tail of users to really make that leap. And so to achieve that, the Safe Foundation did commit $1 million in grants that we will give out next year to really achieve smarter self-custody solutions and to support teams that are joining us in this effort in bringing as many people as possible off of centralized custodians. There's not much details yet towards this grants program. We're really just fleshing out the details. So look forward to have more information on it beginning of next year. But we felt very strongly about this being a critical turning point for our industry, and we really need to also put our money where our mouth is, and we need to support other teams on this journey as well. So yeah, that's why we started this program. So on the next slide. And also something I just want to remind people on that what we're doing at Safe goes far beyond just building multi-signature wallets or providing infrastructure for multi-sigs to be built upon. Due to the modular architecture of Safe, there's really like a whole range of different like access control policies that can be built into Safe accounts, and multi-sig is just a very popular, but just one of many possibilities there. So there's a lot that we can explore in building new systems, new self-custodial systems that really bring the right balance between accessibility and security to the users. Yeah, for the next slide. And one particular thing is that smart contract accounts like Safe are really breaking up this dichotomy that we have between self-custody and third-party custodians, where users have to decide, do I want to bear all responsibility myself and be fully custodial, or do I want to trust someone else and lose on like control, lose on the permissionless nature of self-custody, but have some security guarantees provided by this custodian, at least some perceived security guarantees. Yeah, on the next slide, that's what we call hybrid custody, and that's also a theme that we want to explore in the next months, where smart contract accounts can really be something in between, can really open up a spectrum between full self-custody and third-party custodians, which then also makes it easier for people to become or get away from these centralized custodians. So we could imagine having an account that's primarily controlled by the user. So the user has some keys on secure devices, but they can enable through, for example, Safe modules, third parties to be involved in managing this account, whether that's maybe some sort of bank that can help give access to your account in case you lose your primary keys. It could be an insurance that's really monitoring transactions and raising or flagging malicious transactions, so the user could intervene, or having some time lock involved if the insurance detects something that sounds fishy. It could be also like exchanges that really don't have to have the user's assets on their own balance sheet, but use the assets on the self-custodial account as a collateral for providing off-chain order book. Like these are really just ideas where the journey could head. We don't really have the answers there, how the dominant designs will look like, but we really feel strongly about there being a whole range of innovation possible at the intersection between self-custody and custodian solutions. So just this as a little bit of a food for thought here. Yeah, on the next slide. This also goes in line with what Vitalik posted on the weekend. He calls it a safe sex, and we could achieve this with smart contract accounts. There's also other approaches, of course, but that's really one theme that we can explore. Like, how can we make centralized exchanges safer for users and have segregated accounts for users, and really prevent the commingling of assets and the abuse of assets on the centralized exchange part. So have some checks and balances involved. So yeah, that's one way how we can allow people to really take ownership and to really reduce the counterparty risk. So yeah, if you have some ideas how to build smarter self-custody, definitely approach us, and then also just follow what we're doing with the grants program, where we have more information next year.
Awesome. Thanks, Lukas. Over to Theo. Theo, do you want to kick us off on Safe DAO and maybe reintroduce yourself for people that might not know who you are?
Absolutely. Yeah. Hi, everybody. I'm Theo. I'm DAO Coordination Lead at Safe. So looking after the governance in our forum and our snapshot space, and the still evolving process of forming Safe DAO. And yeah, a major part of this evolving process recently was SEP2, our second Safe ecosystem proposal, which was brought up by the community to enable transferability of the Safe token. So for context, surely most of you, all of you will probably heard of it by this time. But for those who haven't, the proposal was really about enabling the transferability of the Safe token, because initially the contracts were deployed with the token being non-transferable. And I think there is wider consensus that this is supposed to be a temporary state, but there did not seem to be a consensus at this time on the question when to enable transferability. So last week, November 10th, SEP concluded the snapshot vote, and it was not accepted. And there was a it was an evolving process. So in the course of the 7-day snapshot vote, it started out with a slight majority towards enabling transferability. It shifted gradually over time towards no. It then flipped eventually. And then also 2 days, on the last day of the vote, there was a major vote. Actually, 2 investors voted and added to the result of not accepting the proposal with quite some distance. There was criticism around the fact that 2 individual voters had a lot of voting weight, and that is a fair criticism. I'm working currently with the team to introduce some more transparency around that. That could be labeling accounts, that could be more information on the context of these types of accounts. So the types of accounts include investor wallets, they include guardians who have a lot of voting power, or they include team members, whereas team members did not vote at all, to the best of my knowledge. And then a variety of user accounts who also receive tokens as part of the airdrop. So we heard you. It's an ongoing process, and Safe DAO still has a lot to learn. Working hard on the transparency aspect, and also open for feedback here. Taking this back to the forum, how we should improve that here. The constitution is another proposal that is currently ongoing. It's still an informal discussion on the forum, so I would all encourage you to participate. And yeah, just briefly, the mission is to introduce some sort of a meta proposal on safe DAOs governance, and what's currently being discussed, if you could go one slide back, is two aspects in particular where I encourage you to contribute. That is the enforceability. How do you make sure the constitution is upheld? And should we use clearest court as a dispute resolution mechanism, for example? And another part is the governance setup. Like, should we use a subspace and snapshot? Is it feasible to have double the quorum and a 2/3 majority as it's designed now? And many more details, so I encourage you to check out the forum. And that's really all from Safe DAO. I'll just encourage you to enable notifications, and on the last slide to make sure you claim your tokens before December 27th. Back to Jorge.
Great. Thanks, Theo. And now over to Dima to walk us through some cool updates from Safe Mobile that you might have seen on your mobile apps over the last few months. So Dima, if you want to introduce yourself and jump in, it's all you.
Thanks, Jorge. Hi, everyone. My name is Dmitry, and I'm leading the mobile team at Safe. We make apps and mobile SDKs. So first of all, I'd like to raise your awareness that Safe has native iOS and Android apps. Mobile apps give you the following benefits. So first, you can use your Safe with or without desktop. You can connect your mobile device to the Safe web, and this way you can securely sign transactions from the mobile device while not getting annoyed with the browser extension pop-ups. Also, you can operate your Safe on the go to send funds, connect to dApps via Wallet Connect, or manage your Safe settings directly in the app. Mobile apps help you keep your keys secure. You can import your keys into mobile secure storage for the convenience of signing on the go, or for those users who fear losing their mobile device and prefer the most secure setup, the apps can connect to a hardware wallet so that you can sign transactions while keeping the keys in the most secure place. We support Ledger Nano X on iOS and on Android, and Keystone on iOS. Safe Mobile gives preview of transaction details, including decoded data, so that you can see what you're signing. And on top of that, you get notifications about new transaction requests from other multisig members, or about transaction status updates, such as incoming transactions or successful and failed transaction notifications. When your multisig signers install and use mobile app, they will get notifications about new transactions to sign. Now to the recent updates. Next slide, please. Last week, we have released a new version of the iOS app. And on the next slide, there are some details about what's included. So we have added an update with maintenance of infrastructure of Infura API. So please make sure to update your app before December 1st. After that date, the application may have degraded performance. In the previous release, we have also introduced a full application rebrand, changing colors, icons, and typography. Also, we have added back displaying NFTs that are in your Safe so that you can check them out in the Assets tab. Finally, we added support for the Keystone hardware wallet in the previous release. Keystone is a user-friendly hardware wallet with a touchscreen display and a fingerprint sensor. It is integrated with Safe, and it shows details of a transaction that you are going to sign directly on the hardware wallet display. Keystone is air-gapped and does not have any physical network or Bluetooth interface. It works together with the iOS Safe app by reading QR codes with camera and displaying QR codes on the touchscreen display. So if you'd like to purchase the device, Keystone shared with us their promotion code that gives you 20% off for their products. And that is all with iOS. Please download the Safe Multisig app in the Apple App Store. Next is our latest Android release. And on Android, we have released the new version also last week that supports sending funds from your Safe. Now you can send your ERC20 tokens and other tokens directly from your Android device. And also this release contains the maintenance infrastructure updates, similar to what was included in the recent iOS release. In the previous release of Android, we have also added the rebranding of the full application. So we updated it with new colors, icons, and typography so that our app is consistent across all platforms. Get the Safe Multisig app on the Google Play. So here's the QR code. And I think that is all for mobile. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. We are always happy to talk to you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dima. The apps are looking great. I can vouch for that for my phone personally. And in case you missed it, please update your iOS app by December 1st, just to avoid any degraded experience as we upgrade. So thanks for covering that, Dima. And last but not least, we are very excited for our ecosystem spotlight today to feature the team at Liminal. So we're excited to have Manan from Liminal. Manan, if you want to take over screen share, introduce yourself, and then walk us through Liminal, how you're building on top of Safe, and what you unlock for your users, and what you're hoping to achieve as a project.
Absolutely, thank you. Let me just go ahead and share my screen. Can you see my screen all right?
We can, yep.
Awesome. So hi, everyone. I'm Manan. I'm one of the founding members at Liminal. At the outset, let me congratulate the Safe team for these community calls. I think we've been a part of this community since quite some time. And with experience, I can say I think this is one of the most active communities out there. So we're really, really excited to be a part of this. And we're very happy that with Liminal, we have been able to do our bit to contribute in a meaningful way to the community. So without much ado, let me just, so before I talk about Liminal, let me just give you a background so that gives you some more perspective. So before Liminal, the team at Liminal was the team behind building Zeppe. Zeppe was one of the largest crypto exchanges in India. So when we were building and running Zeppe as part of our wallet operations, we used to work with various custody providers. And what we realized was that not a lot of them were focusing on automation and efficiency. And especially a lot of them were really focusing only on one use case, which was predominant and which was really the exchanges. And the Web3 ecosystem was really expanding. So what we realized was that there was a need for a custody provider who focused on self-custody and focused on automation and efficiency. So that's how when we exited Zeppe, we started building and focusing on Liminal. Liminal is a self-custody solution. We provide the infrastructure to various Web3 projects and use cases, including DAOs, DeFi companies, NFT gateways to build their wallet operations in a secure, efficient, and compliant manner. So two main things that we focused while we were designing and building Liminal was that we wanted to be self-custody and we wanted to be multi-signature only. So we genuinely feel that single signature, has a lot of risk in the sense that there is a single point of failure, and hence we wanted to stick to multi-sig. And because we decided to, go ahead with multi-sig, our obvious choice was to build on top of Safe. I genuinely feel that Safe is one of the most widely used, reputed, most probably audited and secure smart contract platform out there. So it was just obvious for us to start building on top of it. But what we realized was that as part of our research and when we started building Liminal, and we started speaking to a lot of Web3 projects across different use cases. And what we realized was that while these projects were using Safe, they were using it in a very narrow sense, in the sense that they were mainly focusing on using it from a cold wallet perspective, for their treasury management, right? To give you an example, we are working with a DeFi yield company right now, and what it does is it accepts deposits from their users and then keeps most of the treasury on Safe, and then they transfer it to a single sig browser wallet, and from there they deploy it to various DeFi protocols, earn yield, and then they transfer the reserves back to Safe. So what this does is that they're looking at Safe in a very narrow sense perspective, and their wallet operations and architecture is quite scattered and honestly less secure, because then now there is an involvement of single sig online based wallet, right? And similarly, based on our experience with like other use cases, is where we realized that these projects were missing certain aspects of Safe, which if applied could actually take their experience to the next level. So at Liminal, we decided to really start building on top of Safe, use the core security provided by the Safe protocol, and add superpowers on top of it, so that this allows projects to take their wallet operations and their Safe experience to the next level and make it like really a wholesome offering. We've broadly categorized these superpowers into 3 different categories. The first is operational efficiency and automation, second is security compliance, and third is premium support. I'll just take a couple of minutes to just expand on these superpowers to just give everyone in the community some perspective around what we're trying to do. So for example, what we really do is when you decide to onboard on Liminal, we spend some time to understand your current wallet infrastructure, and based on your use case, everyone has their own unique flow. So we try and work with the projects to actually come up with a fund flow and an architecture that really makes sense. And then we bring the 100% of architecture on top of Safe. One of the reasons we realized that projects were using Safe only from a treasury management or cold wallet perspective was that it was not very straightforward to add or embed an online HSM secure key very easily into the Safe protocol. So what we did was we wrote our APIs and SDKs on top of Safe, and once you sort of plug and play, once you integrate with Liminal, you can then very easily embed your online HSM keys into the Safe multi-sig protocol. And then once you have those HSMs in place, you can use it to have all sorts of automation. So what we do is we understand their workflow and we create these custom workflows. So it sort of becomes really plug and play for projects on top of to build on top of Safe. And once you've sort of done this, you can bring in various type of efficiencies, right? And now your 100% architecture can be on Safe, and you do not need to scatter this across different types of wallets, including single sig, online browser-based wallets. The second thing we did was, we came up with feature to schedule transactions. Now this feature allows you to use it in various ways that you want, and you can use it to, if you're a DAO, you can use it to schedule your salary payments or process your salary payments. If, for example, exchanges use it to refill their hot wallets. So once you've basically partially signed transaction, there is one key that belongs to Liminal, which is also an HSM key, which is part of the Safe multi-sig wallet. And then it executes the transaction based on the instructions provided by the projects. Similarly, we've got something known as the transaction confirmation guarantee. So what basically this protocol or what this algorithm does is that once you broadcast a transaction, as a project, you can be assured that this will get broadcasted and processed. If it gets stuck because of network fees or something like that, the Liminal signer automatically broadcasts the transaction with the same nonce with a better fee to make sure that it goes through. And we've used this to actually build another feature known as the EVM fee saver. With that, we've been able to achieve 8 to 10% cost efficiencies in the network fees for these Web3 projects. And of course, we've got multiple chains under the same, so that you can have the same experience across different chains. Currently, we support the top 20 chains right now. The second aspect is on the security and compliance perspective. So what we sincerely believe that, with everything that's going on in the industry right now, there is going to be call for more regulation. So even if you're a Web3 project and, maybe compliance is not the #1 priority for you right now. And we realize that. So which is why once you build your architecture on Safe, we've integrated with various providers. For example, we've integrated with TRM. So as soon as you start integrate with Liminal and go live, any transaction that you do on top of Liminal will be scanned against TRM's database, and a real-time notification is sent in case if there are funds coming from a dirty source. And then projects can take a decision on what they want to do based on their internal compliances, but you do not need to go out of your way and do any custom integrations. It comes inbuilt along with the entire Safe offering. Similarly, we are in the process of integrating with Nota Bene for travel rule compliance, and once done, all of your transactions by default will become travel rule compliant. We've added, so the entire process is CCSS compliant. CCSS is a cryptocurrency security standard. You can think of it like an ISO standard. So once you like are compliant with CCSS, you can be sure that you're adhering to the highest level of security when it comes to wallet operations. So we've designed it in a way that not only is Liminal CCSS compliant, but by integrating with Liminal and our wallet infrastructure built on top of Safe, you by default become CCSS compliant. And then we've again used the core security and policy layers offered by Safe, and then built a few policy layers on top of it to provide more flexibility in terms of transactional securities to projects. The third category is on the premium support side of things. We all know that things are evolving very quickly in the Web3 space. So as a project, I think one thing that you need is constant access to custody experts to make sure that your wallet operations continue remaining secure, efficient, and compliant. So as part of our offering, what we do is we provide concierge onboarding, not only for the users, but also for developers. So as part of the concierge onboarding, we will work with you to integrate our APIs and SDKs, and we will help you embed your HSM into the Safe multisig, and we will make sure that your architecture goes completely live. So we don't just give you the APIs and SDKs and leave it up to you. Since you are already a project that is building on top of Safe, and we believe in really giving it back to the community, we've decided to extend our premium support as an included offering to all projects building on top of this. So what this does is instead of just email queries, you get access to a dedicated custody expert. You can reach out to them at any time, and you can expect a reply within 24 hours. What we also do is we want to offer a consultation. So whenever we speak, irrespective of whether you decide to eventually build or using Liminal or not, because this is what we do for a living, we're genuinely interested in helping out any project out there to make their wallet operations a lot more secure, efficient, and compliant. So before, like I said, we integrate, we do a detailed deep dive and understand the wallet operations and make sure that your architecture is as seamless as possible. So that's how we're trying to add superpowers and make sure that your Safe experience actually reaches the ultimate level, and your wallet operations are 100% built on the security of Safe. These are just some figures we incorporated in April of last year. So far, we've processed $4.4 billion worth of transactions. We've got around $220 million of asset under protection. We'll be regulated by multiple jurisdictions, across APAC, MENA for now. And yes, that's it. If there is any question, I think we've got Dhruvil also from our team who leads the tech team. We'll be more than happy to answer them now. We can also be a part of the Discord and answer queries there. There is this link which we'll probably figure out how we share this, but what we want to do is, as part of our offering and as part of our partnership with Safe, we want to offer free consultation to anyone, any project that is building on top of Safe. And there is, again, irrespective of whether you decide to use Liminal or not, we'd be more than happy to understand your wallet operations and see how we can make it more secure. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Manan. We'll include the link in the community recap that goes out on Mirror. So we'll be sure to include that there. If you have any questions for any of our panelists or presenters today, feel free to drop them in the chat. But for now, a couple that have come up. So Lukas, on the grant side, you mentioned beginning of the year. What should people look for in terms of more information or how they can apply to that program specifically?
Yeah, so in general, it will be like 250K per quarter, like the kind of high level part of the program. But in terms of like the exact requirements, what types of grants will qualify, like how the process would look like, this is yet to be defined. And that's where we would probably share beginning of next year a little bit more guidance on who's who this program is really for. We made this decision quite fast that we want to have this commitment, just because we thought it's like very much needed at this point that we raise awareness for building smarter self-custody. So we need to now catch up a little bit and actually define the details of it. But yeah, we will definitely make sure to share it across all our channels as soon as we're ready.
Cool. Security is definitely a timely topic, Manan, on the liminal side. What types of users are you looking to speak with? If certain types of projects or even individual users, like who would you like to kind of reach out and learn more about the platform?
So at a broader level, any Web3 project, anyone that has to do anything to do with digital assets, we cater to all those use cases to make sure that they're managing their assets in the most secure and efficient way. We are closely working with DAOs, DeFi, like I said, yield companies. We are now in talks with a couple of NFT marketplaces. So those are, generally the use cases that we've seen. We're talking to a couple of treasuries right now and a few DEXs also. So it's really scattered across various, categories. But I would say if I had to, pick top three, I think we're seeing a lot of interest from DAOs, DeFi companies and treasuries for now.
Cool. I think I'm not seeing any other questions coming in. Do any of you have questions for each other? Anything that you'd like to ask of your other co-presenters? Okay, on that note, we can close it out. So as I mentioned, this was Safe Community Call number 3. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll be sharing the recording of this and all of the links to the different products, updates, offers that people have mentioned in our roundup on Mirror. And yeah, thanks. Hope everybody has a great rest of your week. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.